We are back at the beautiful Polish city of Gdańsk for this year's edition of the Motocross of European Nations. Located in the north part of the country, Gdańsk has a rich history dating back all the way to the 10th century, and with plenty of sightseeing hotspots around, as well as a stunning beach along the Baltic coast, it's obvious why the city attracts so many tourists from all over the world. Making a return for the third consecutive year to the Gdańsk circuit, we will see a total of 21 teams in the men's and 16 in the women's category battle it out this weekend in the hope of being crowned the 2019 Motocross of European Nations champions. Of course, there can only be one winner, and who will it be? Will it be Italy once again following their last year's clean sweep? Stay tuned to find out, and of course don't forget to follow us on social media to keep up with all the latest from this weekend. That's it for now, bye!
Mikel Harup and Kevin Hawkmo take us for a lap around this Poland circuit. Uphill start into a 180 right and then downhill past pit lane into turn 2. As you can see, with the weather that we've had here this weekend, the line's really starting to develop, but there's also a dry line out to the outside here. This was Saturday, of course. Uphill over the first climb. Then we go left. A multitude of lines here starting to develop, and as you can see, riders going left and right as they hit the first tabletop. Just to give you some indication as to how and where the riders will try to pass this weekend. Out of this little right-hander, uphill into this left, through the roller there, and then starting to make their way slightly back downhill, a series of singles, this tabletop here, and then through this little bomb hole, and then into a series of little waves through this left-hander. The old track used to go right there, if you remember, a couple of years ago, but shortened last year for this event. Over this double jump, charging back downhill hard, and then through this left turn. Be careful not to over jump there, because as you can see, the corner tightens up quite significantly. And then as we approach this next straight, a small single into a tabletop, landing on the brakes immediately. If you over jump, you've got the security of the berm around the outside. Dropping downhill again through this left, and then up into this right-hander. Well, if we get the rain that's expected, the takeoff of that jump might be pretty treacherous. Right the way back down onto the flats, into this left-hand turn. 180 degrees through that left-hander. And then again, another short little jump. Takes the riders back up into this right turn. A small single on the exit. This jump here takes us back downhill into the left-hand corner. And as we exit here, the finish line is around about now, and then up into this right turn, the outside of turn 1, and then we exit here, back down past pit lane to start another lap.
We are here in the city of Gdańsk, where all of the riders and teams have gathered for the official opening ceremony of the 2019 Motocross of Nations.
Saturdays with the Motocross of European Nations, the riders and teams were introduced to the fans in the town centre, where Spain, Italy, Ukraine and France were among the 21 nations representing in the male categories, with 16 nations in the women's category at this year's event. The FIM president, Mr. Jorge Villegas, was among the many speakers which declared the event officially open, as dancers and performers entertained the crowds. The ballot, similar to what you'd see in a Champions League football draw, determined the start gate positions where riders and especially team managers looked on anxiously to see how they would line up for Saturday's qualifying races. And with more speeches at the racetrack on Saturday, we were all ready to go racing to determine the best European motocross nation.
Next up we have
I'm really looking forward to it. We have a strong team with Germany, with Anne Borchers. We're really looking forward to a top 3 positions. Let's see what we can do.
During the season, I kept, improving myself from race to race. So I'm really looking forward to do my best result.
Yeah, for me it's really nice to be here. I do the Motocross of European Nations, I think for 5 years now in a row. And every time, we are here with a different rider. Only this year it's the same one, Shana. And it's just really nice to be here because our boys, we have strong boys in Holland, but they are not here. So I'm really happy that the KNMV anyway sent the women's to here. And that's really nice for the country as well.
I just hope to do my best out there. I hope to go home in one piece. There's the main goal, but I just want to go out there and ride like myself. Sometimes, we tend to get a little nervous, ride tight and things like that. So I just want to go out there, and obviously the win is the main goal, but you just got to put down lap by lap and pick good lines and ride to your best ability.
It's pretty awesome. I've come over to Europe and I've raced MX Master Kids for Team USA before, so it's awesome to come back over here and do something else but still represent USA.
We are here this weekend in Poland to defend the title that they won last year, so we are already ready to race, and we hope that the weather will be like today.
And now it's time for the women's race 1.
The first WMX race of the day then, and uphill into the first turn. Nancy van der Ven looking like she's got a good jump in there with Larissa Papenmeier, but it's Papenmeier who edges the whole shot on the way out of there. Charging downhill and up here, Papenmeier leads away, van der Ven second, Verstappen and Lena Dam of Denmark going through in 4th position, but it's van der Ven who took over the lead and brought Verstappen with her. Papenmeier was now in 3rd place. The Vice World Champion looked good out front, but could not afford to relax, as Verstappen followed her every move on the number 17 machine for Belgium. Defending champions Italy were having a tough time. Frankie Nacera on the number 1 lost out to Sweden's Sandra Karlsson for an eventual 11th as Karlsson took 8th. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead raged on between van der Ven and Verstappen, whilst Verstappen's Belgian teammate Brenda Wagmans eventually lost out to the American Kylie Fasnacht on the number 31 machine. Fasnacht would place 10th, Wagmans 11th. Papenmeier had a lonely ride for 3rd, but van der Ven controlled the race and the lead from Verstappen perfectly. And by the time the checkered flag fell for van der Ven, she was a winner by 7 seconds. Whilst van der Ven picked up the race win for the Netherlands, Team Germany led the nation's classification with 7 points from a 3rd and a 4th from Papenmeier and Borchers, with the Netherlands just 1 point behind on 8th. Sweden sat 3rd after race 1 with 13 points.
And next up we have the women's race 2.
Different track conditions for WMX race 2 as the rain started to fall, but it didn't stop Larissa Papenmeier from bagging another hole shot Nancy van der Ven took advantage of Anne Borchers' mistake on the exit of turn 1 to take over second place. But as you can see, the hard, slick surface quickly turned to an ice rink as the rain continued to fall. Pappenmeier led. She was the early pace setter from van der Ven and Borchers. Germany were in a good position early on. Van der Ven was soon up front though, just as she was in race 1, as Pappenmeier struggled to match the pace of the Dutch girl. The Italian duo, Frankie Najera and Giorgia Montini, found the muddy conditions tough going and would finish 11th and 17th respectively. Van der Ven on the 5 though for the Netherlands weathered everything that was thrown at her, including the weather. But as the track deteriorated, so too did the performances of several riders. The thickening mud causing all kinds of problems for some. But Lena Dam, number 4 of Denmark, she survived for an eventual 6th position, the same position as she put up in race 1, which would be good enough to ensure a visit to the podium for the 2nd successive year for Denmark. Up front though, Nancy van der Ven on the 5 was in a class of her own and went on to take the win by almost 30 seconds over Sarah Anderson. Back-to-back race wins then for Nancy van der Ven here in Poland secure her the individual overall victory. A great recovery for Anderson to pick up 2nd after a difficult race 1, but Shana van der Vlist in 3rd went a long way to securing the Netherlands the nation's win. Pappenmeier and Borchers rounded out the top 5 in race 2. Here's the podium ceremony then. 3rd overall Denmark with Sarah Anderson and Lena Dam. 2nd overall for Germany, Larissa Pappenmeier and Anne Borchers. But your overall winners, the Netherlands, Nancy van der Ven and Shana van der Vlist. Trophies being handed out. The other 2 teams hardly dare look on. Hopefully that'll be their turn next year. But gold medals, trophies, gold plates, as you would expect for the Motocross of European Nations winners here. And finally, the Netherlands are victorious again for the first time since 2017, edging out Germany and Denmark. Gold medals around the neck of Shana van der Vlist. And a real proud moment for the girls in orange this weekend. Nations classification then, the Netherlands victorious, Germany 2nd, Denmark 3rd, Belgium and Sweden, your top 5.
Yeah, of course we are really happy, and Nancy took both motos, and for me it was first moto I was 7, and the second moto I want to do it better, and it started to rain and it was muddy, and actually I like the mud, so I finished 3rd. So I was really happy about that, and of course happy to win here.
Take a look at the EMX 85 Race 1.
The first 85cc race of the day. On board here with Václav Marek on the 15 as he got swamped by Matteo Luigi Russi, Lucas Brun and Victor Puig of Spain, but it was Mads Fredso and MXoEN who disputed the whole shot as Valerio Latta got caught at the back for Italy. MXoEN led for Germany as they came through the first couple of corners. Replay of the start shows just how heavy and muddy it is getting over the gate here, especially on those 85s, but Fredso made his way to the front as the rain started to fall on a perfect racetrack. Victor Puig gave chase for Spain. Fredso, though, Denmark on the 76 looked the most comfortable as the circuit began to break down, but fast-starting MXoEN, number 87 of Germany, hit the eject button and would eventually finish in 31st, whilst Fredso, your race leader, kept a cool head up front, extending his lead in the process. After his poor start, Valerio Latta of Italy was on the charge and now inside the top 10, but so too was the 28 of Carlis Alberts Regilis of Latvia. But it was Fredso who was in confident mood as he completely dominated race 1. Just behind, and equally impressive, was Spain's Victor Puig, who raised a few eyebrows with his stunning performance in 2nd position. But after a perfect start and a cool head, Mads Fredso managed to build up an unassailable 43-second lead by the time he took the checkered flag. Well, Fredso may have won the race for Denmark, but it was Spain who led the overall nations classification with 8 points as both riders placed inside the top 10 with 2nd and 6th.
Hello, my name is Václav Marek. I am from the Czech Republic and I ride on KTM 85. This is a very good season. world champion, European champion, Czech champion. Good. I'm very proud to represent Czech Republic.
My name is Mikkel Harup. I'm from Denmark and I'm racing my Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. I'm feeling quite confident with the team. We have some good young riders and I think it will be very interesting to see. It's a team effort, so obviously I will try and do my best. I'm very pumped to be representing Team Denmark. I'm happy to be here and representing for sure.
I'm Jörgen Maite-Stolviku. I'm from Estonia. I'm riding with 250 Husqvarna and in MX2 class. For me it's the last race of the season also, and I hope to finish my year strongly, and with our team Estonia we are first time. We just try to enjoy this weekend.
And now it's time for the EMX 125 250 Race 2.
The first 125 250 race then, and as the riders headed into turn one, the Italian duo of Morgan Lasciardo number 1 and Andrea Roncoli controlled the turn. But it was Thibaut Beneston number 5 of France who led in the early stages. The two Italians were second and third as Talviku on the 81 and Ruben Fernandez 65 gave chase in 4th and 5th. The replay of the start here shows Kevin Horgmo number 9 just asking too much of the rear wheel as the front end started to climb on him. Back with the race leader, Beneston. He held a slight advantage over Lasciardo of Italy on a tricky track made worse by the intermittent rain, but it didn't stop them from pushing on relentlessly. Lasciardo stalking the every move of the Frenchman number 5. But as the two leaders went toe-to-toe and bar-to-bar, they started to trip each other up, and it was Lasciardo who looked to be the more decisive. Despite his efforts though, his moves went unrewarded. Tried to make that move around the outside, and whilst the two leaders fought amongst themselves, Mikkel Harup 73 was starting to close in for Denmark. As Lasciardo applied the pressure, Beneston slipped up as he tried to avoid a back marker, and the Italian was decisive as he forced his way through into the lead. However, Lasciardo's bike began to smoke. Beneston regained the lead, and both riders were now under pressure from Harup in third. And as Beneston tried to disappear, he thought he had the race won, but Harup had other ideas, and as they crossed the line, Harup on the left, he took the win by 0.3 of a second from Beneston. Classification then, Harup may have won the race, but with two Italians inside the top 10, the defending champions were looking good for the overall win again here in Poland.
My name is Kevin Horgmo. I'm riding for Team Norway. Last year, third place was like a victory for us, so we are hoping to do the same this year. Norway is not such a big motocross country, so it's really good to do these kind of races. It's a pride for me to put the Norwegian flag, especially when we put it on the box last year.
I am Andrea Roncoli, riding for Team Italy, and I use a Husqvarna 125. I am very happy to be here with the Team Italy to defend the title. This year I think we have a good team for try to make another win.
I'm Morgan Lasciardo, riding for Team Italy, KTM 250. Team Italy is defending the champion, so a little bit pressure is always on. It's racing, and I like to be on pressure also. Number one is heavy to put on the bike always, and yeah, we'll try to make the best.
Now let's take a look at the EMX 85 Race 3.
Start of race 3, the 85cc class. On board here with Václav Marek, Czech Republic, the 65 junior world and European champion, and just look at how the rain has changed the uphill start straight. But regardless of that, it's Laban Alm of Sweden who pulls the whole shot. Alm led from Alisi Orshkin of Russia and Valerio Latta Edgar Canet on the right for Spain. He was 6th in race 1 and passed Latta for 3rd, but it didn't last long though, because Latta took over the lead soon after and went on to build up a sizable lead. Unfazed by the conditions, Latta was inch perfect as others started to falter, but Canet in 2nd was doing a good job of keeping Latta in his sights. As the race wore on, Latta consistently hit all the right lines, but Adrien Petit there of France, on the other hand, found the going a bit more difficult on his way to an eventual 11th, and he wasn't the only one to suffer. Matteo Luigi Russi here, number 4, failed to finish the race despite showing good speed here in 4th. But the race leader, Valerio Latta, looked as though he was still on a dry racetrack as he picked his way past the back markers. He was now more than 20 seconds clear of Casimir Henderson of Finland, with Edgar Canet on the number 67 back in 3rd place. But the 3 was supreme for Italy. Urged on by his home crowd there, Canet doing his best to keep an eye on the number 3, Václav Marek. He fell, but the 67 of Canet would eventually finish in 3rd place. Valerio Latta, though, would take the win and the individual overall honours here in Poland. And after finishing 7th in race 1, Casimir Henderson was a fine 2nd in race 2. Canet was also consistent in 3rd.
Now it's time for the EMX 125 250 race 4.
Race of the day, race 4, the 125s and 250s. Mikael Harup in red got a good jump, and he was repaid with a hole shot as he swooped in from the left-hand side of the circuit ahead of Thibaut Beneston, Morgan Lasciardo and Andrea Roncalli, who were right there with him as they rounded out the first turn. With a clear track ahead of him, Harup of Denmark set a good pace as he looked to put some distance between himself and Beneston of France. Lasciardo of Italy and Talvico of Estonia were right there. After the rain came down, the low sun started to cause visibility problems on what was now a heavily rutted racetrack. Spain's Ruben Fernandez on the 65 was just inside the top 10 early on and was looking for a top 5 finish, but he would need some assistance for that to happen later on in the race. Jürgen Matthias Talvico on the 81 found his 4th place under threat as he was caught by Danil Balandin of Russia and Fernandez there of Spain. Beneston eventually dropped to 3rd, but was still racing in full attack mode, despite the tough conditions. Just ahead of him was Morgan Lasciardo, the Italian, doing all he could to defend their title. His teammate, though, Andrea Roncalli, number 2, fell and was collected by Norwegians Kevin Horgmo. They would both finish outside the top 10. All of the track crews doing their best to urge on their riders here. And as the conditions started to deteriorate, Thibaut Beneston found himself in the thick of it once again. Ahead of Lasciardo, but the Italian dug deep to move back past the Frenchman for a crucial point. And with Italy, Lasciardo in 2nd, he now had one hand on the trophy but couldn't afford any more mistakes as Talvico was past Beneston for 3rd. And whilst they were arguing over 2nd, 3rd and 4th, Harup was up front without a care in the world. He eventually crossed the line 20 seconds clear of Lasciardo. Beneston took 3rd and Fernandez was 4th after a mistake from Talvico, which left the Estonian in 11th. And after a nail-biting end to the race, Italy were crowned Motocross of European Nations champions again, but it was a close call, edging out Spain by just a single point. Let the celebrations begin. So, the overall podium this weekend then, For this Motocross of European Nations, third, the Czech Republic on 57 points, with Beach-Lap Marek and Julius Mikula, Dusan Derde and Jan Wagenknecht. Spain with Edgar Canet, Victor Puig, Ruben Fernandez and Oriol Oliver was second, but Italy just 1 point clear with Valerio Latta and Matteo Luigi Russi in the 85 category, Morgan Lisiardo, Andrea Roncoli in the 125 and 250 division got to stand on the top step of the podium. Gold plates, gold medals, trophies, a successful defence of the title Team Italy won back in 2018. Official confirmation then, just look how close it was between the top two nations, only 1 point separating Italy and Spain.
It feels good, of course. It was pretty tough this year, so it's been a tough race because it's been raining and then shining and raining again, so the track was pretty muddy and rutty, and the guys did a great job again this year, so it was not easy to win. We were fighting with Spain till the last lap, and but in the end we made it. So good job, guys, and see you next year.
And that is it for another year. Team Italy are victorious once again as they defend their title. And of course, in the ladies, Team Netherlands finally getting that all-important win. It was a tough weekend for everyone, but the racing was amazing. So I guess all we have left to do is look forward to the next year. And that is it for another year. The 2019 Motocross of European Nations is done. And I think the only thing left for us to do now is to see you next year. Bye!